The lights in the Galactic Council chamber flickered red. Ambassador Zex had never seen an emergency meeting called this quickly. His forearm shook as he rushed to his seat. Around him, hundreds of alien representatives whispered in panic. "What happened?" asked Senator Vrock from the Centauri system. His blue skin had turned pale. "The humans," Zex replied, his voice barely a whisper. "The humans have done something terrible." At the center of the massive chamber, High Chancellor Nexus stood up. His 8 eyes scanned the crowd. The room fell silent. "Fellow beings," Nexus began, his voice echoing through the hall. "3 days ago, our scouts made a shocking discovery. The humans have been lying to us." A wave of gasps filled the chamber. On the giant screen above, images appeared. Green planets with human cities, mining operations, massive cargo ships. "For the past 20 years, Nexus continued, humans told us they were only exploring empty space. They said they were peaceful scientists. They lied." Zex leaned forward. The images showed human colonies on 12 different worlds. These were not small research stations. These were full cities with millions of humans. "But that's not the worst part," Nexus said. His voice grew angry. "Look at what they've been mining." The screen changed. Now it showed deep mines and glowing blue crystals. Zex felt his blood turn cold. Those were quantum crystals, the most valuable resource in the galaxy. Without them, faster-than-light travel was impossible. Without them, most alien technology would stop working. "The humans have been secretly mining our crystals for 20 years, Nexus announced. They never asked permission. They never paid taxes. They simply took what they wanted. Captain Krell, the military commander, stood up. His species was known for being warriors. His red eyes glowed with anger. "How much have they stolen?" Krell demanded. A nervous scientist stepped forward. "Our estimates show they have taken more crystals than the entire Galactic Council mines in 5 years. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Some aliens called for war. Others demanded immediate action. Zex felt sick. If humans controlled that many crystals, they could become the most powerful species in the galaxy. "Silence," Nexus shouted. "We will handle this the proper way. We will demand they follow our laws." 2 hours later, the human ambassador arrived. Zex watched as the small figure walked into the chamber. Humans always looked so weak compared to other species. This one was a female with short brown hair and calm eyes. She wore a simple black uniform. "Ambassador Sarah Chen of Earth," Nexus announced. "You stand accused of illegal mining, tax evasion, and breaking 17 galactic laws." Ambassador Chen looked around the chamber slowly. She did not seem afraid. She did not seem worried. This made Zex feel nervous. "We know about your secret colonies," Nexus continued. "We know about the crystals you have stolen. The Galactic Council demands the following. First, you will abandon all illegal colonies immediately. Second, you will pay taxes on all crystals you have taken. Third, you will follow all galactic laws from now on." The chamber was completely quiet. Everyone waited for the human's response. Ambassador Chen stepped forward. When she spoke, her voice was clear and calm. "Thank you for sharing your concerns," she said. "The human government will consider your requests." That was it. No apology, no agreement, no fear. Senator Vrock stood up. "Consider. You must obey our laws." Ambassador Chen turned to look at him. "We will consider your requests," she repeated. "We will give you our answer in due time." Captain Krell jumped to his feet. "You cannot just consider. You must obey." The human ambassador smiled slightly. It was not a friendly smile. "We have listened to your demands. We will discuss them with our leaders. Good day." She turned and walked toward the exit. The entire council watched in shock. No species had ever refused to negotiate before. Everyone always followed galactic law. "Wait," Nexus called. "You cannot leave without agreeing." Ambassador Chen stopped at the door. She looked back one more time. "We never said we refused anything," she said quietly. "We said we would consider your requests. You will have our answer when we are ready to give it." Then she was gone. The chamber exploded into chaos. Aliens shouted and argued. Some called for military action. Others demanded sanctions, but Zex sat quietly thinking. Something about the humans' calm behavior worried him. She had not seemed surprised by their accusations. She had not seemed concerned about their threats. It was almost like she had been expecting this meeting. What the aliens did not know was that 50 light-years away, massive human fleets were already moving. Ships bigger than any the galaxy had ever seen were heading toward the border. Worlds, the humans had not been caught off guard. They had been waiting for this day for 50 years. The silenced 2 weeks had passed since the emergency meeting. Ambassador Zek stood on the bridge of the war cruiser Vengeance, watching the human colony grow larger on the screen. Captain Krell had finally gotten permission to act. "This will teach them," Krell growled, his red eyes glowing with satisfaction. No one ignores the Galactic Council. Behind them, 50 alien warships moved through space. It was the largest military force sent against any species in 100 years. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy a moon. "Approaching Colony World Epsilon 7, announced the navigation officer. "Human population 2 million. Beginning scan for defensive systems." Zax watched nervously as they entered the planet's orbit. Something felt wrong. The colony looked normal from space. Cities, farms, mining operations. But something was missing. "Sir," the scanner officer called out, confusion in his voice. "I'm not detecting any life signs." "What do you mean?" Krell demanded. "No humans, sir. The colony appears to be empty." Krell's face darkened. "They're hiding. Launch the landing ships. We'll find them." 2 hours later, the first reports came back. Zax listened with growing unease as the ground teams described what they found. "The cities are completely abandoned," reported Major Vex. "But it's strange, sir. There are no signs of panic or quick evacuation. Everything is clean and organized. It's like they planned this." "Check the mines," Krell ordered. "Already did, sir. The mining equipment is gone, all of it. Even the heavy machinery that would take weeks to move." Zax felt a chill run through his body. "How long ago did they leave?" "Unknown, sir. But based on the dust patterns, at least 3 weeks. Maybe more, 3 weeks. That meant the humans had started leaving before the council meeting even happened." "Check the other colonies," Krell commanded. "All of them." Over the next 6 hours, reports came in from all 12 human worlds. The same story everywhere. Empty cities, missing equipment, no humans anywhere. But there was something else. Something that made Zex's stomach turn. "Sir," called the communications officer. "We're trying to contact Earth for an explanation, but we're getting no response." "What do you mean, no response?" Krell asked. "Complete radio silence, sir. Earth is not answering any calls. It's like they've cut off all communication with the galaxy." Zex moved to the communication station. "Try the human trade posts, the embassy stations, any human presence in the galaxy." The officer worked frantically for several minutes. Then he looked up with wide eyes. "Sir, there are no human signals anywhere in the galaxy. Nothing. It's like they all just disappeared." The bridge fell silent. Zex could hear his own heart beating. An entire species didn't just vanish overnight. "Keep searching," Krell ordered, but his voice had lost its confidence. 3 days later, Zax was back in the Galactic Council chamber. The mood was very different from 2 weeks ago. Fear had replaced anger. High Chancellor Nexus looked older, more tired. "Report, Ambassador Zex. The humans are gone," Zex said simply. "All of them. Every colony evacuated. Every ship disappeared. Earth is silent. But where could they go?" Senator Vrock asked. "An entire species cannot just hide." Dr. Quinn, the Council's chief scientist, stepped forward. She looked worried. "We have a bigger problem. Without the human colonies, our crystal supply has dropped by 60%. "What does that mean?" Nexus asked. "It means," Dr. Quinn said quietly, "that they were mining far more crystals than we realized. Our technology depends on a steady supply. If we can't find new sources soon." She didn't need to finish. Everyone understood. Without crystals, their ships would be stranded. Their cities would lose power. Their entire civilization would collapse. "How long do we have?" Zex asked. 6 months, maybe less. Captain Krell slammed his fist on the table. "Then we hunt them down. We force them to give us the crystals." "With what ships?" Dr. Quinn replied. "Half our fleet is already showing power problems. The humans took the mobile mining stations too. We can't even extract new crystals properly." The terrible truth was sinking in. The humans hadn't just left. They had crippled the galaxy's crystal production before they went. "There's something else," Zex said reluctantly. "Our long-range sensors detected something yesterday." "What?" Nexus demanded. Movement in the dark space beyond the rim. Something big, much bigger than any ship we've ever seen. How big? Creel asked. Zax hesitated. Size of a small moon, and there are dozens of them moving in formation. The chamber erupted in worried whispers. Moon-sized objects moving through space could only mean one thing. They built mobile cities, Dr. Quinn whispered in amazement. The humans evacuated entire planets and turned them into what? Space stations? Ships and... But why? Senator Vrock asked. Why would they do this? Zax stared at the tactical display showing the mysterious objects in deep space. The humans hadn't just disappeared. They had been preparing for something big, and now the galaxy was completely dependent on them for survival. The Fear Ambassador Zax stared at the massive screen in the Council's emergency command center. The image showed something impossible. The moon-sized object wasn't a ship or a station. It was a city, a complete human city floating in space. Magnify Sector 7, Dr. Quinn ordered with shaking hands. The image zoomed in. Zax could see buildings, parks, and even what looked like farms under huge glass domes. Millions of lights twinkled across the surface like stars. By the ancient gods, whispered Senator Vrock. They moved entire cities into space. Not just one city, Dr. Quinn corrected, her voice filled with fear and wonder. Look at the long-range scans. New images appeared on the screen. Dozens of these massive space cities moved in perfect formation through the darkness between star systems. Each one was home to millions of humans. Captain Krell paced back and forth like a caged animal. This is impossible. You cannot move cities into space! The energy requirements alone would require massive amounts of quantum crystals, Dr. Quinn finished, which explains why they were mining so much for 20 years. High Chancellor Nexus slumped in his chair. They weren't just taking our crystals. They were preparing for this. All of it was planned. Zax felt sick. While the Galactic Council had been making laws and holding meetings, the humans had been building mobile worlds. They had evacuated entire planets and made themselves completely independent. Sir, called the communications officer. We're receiving distress signals from the outer rim colonies. What kind of distress signals? Nexus asked. Power failures, sir. The Centauri trade stations are running out of crystals. The mining colonies on Vega 4 are shutting down. 3 major shipping lanes have been closed because ships don't have enough power to make the jump. The terrible reality was hitting them. Without human mining operations, the galaxy's crystal supply was collapsing. Trade routes were failing. Entire star systems were losing power. How many species are affected? Zax asked. Dr. Quinn checked her datapad. 47 species depend on the crystal trade network. Without it, their economies will collapse within 2 months. And their ships? Captain Krell asked. Stranded, she replied simply. Unable to travel between stars. Senator Vrock stood up, panic in his voice. We must contact the humans immediately. We must negotiate. With what? Captain Krell snapped. Half our fleet can't even reach their position. Our own ships are starting to ration power. Zax walked to the tactical display. The human space cities were moving away from galactic territory, heading into the dark void between galaxies. Soon they would be too far away to reach even with full power. They planned this perfectly, he said quietly. They made us completely dependent on them, then they left. But why? Nexus asked. What do they want? Before anyone could answer, alarms started blaring throughout the command center. Incoming transmission, the communications officer shouted. It's from the human cities! Everyone turned toward the main screen. The image changed to show a simple communication room. A human woman appeared, not Ambassador Chen, but someone older with gray hair and calm eyes. Greetings, Galactic Council, the woman said. Her voice was steady and confident. I am Admiral Sarah Martinez, speaking for the United Human Colonies. Nexus jumped to his feet. Admiral Martinez, where is Ambassador Chen? We demand to know why you have abandoned your colonies. Admiral Martinez smiled slightly. Ambassador Chen is here with us safe and sound. As for your question, we have not abandoned anything. We have simply relocated. You have crippled our entire civilization, Senator Vrock shouted. No, Martinez replied calmly. You crippled yourselves by becoming dependent on resources you never controlled. Captain Krell stepped forward, his red eyes blazing with anger. You will return immediately and restore our crystal supply, or we will consider this an act of war. Martinez looked at him with what seemed like pity. Captain Krell, I believe you misunderstand the situation. You are in no position to threaten anyone. We have the largest fleet in the galaxy. Krell roared. You had the largest fleet, Martinez corrected. Most of your ships are now stranded without enough crystals to function properly, but that's not why I'm calling. The screen changed to show a star map. Red dots appeared throughout the galaxy, showing failing systems and stranded fleets. We are calling, Martinez continued, because we have a proposal, one that will benefit both of our peoples. Nexus leaned forward eagerly. What kind of proposal? Alliance, Martinez said simply. We will share our crystal technology and restore your power systems. In return, you will provide something we need. What do you need? Zex asked, though he dreaded the answer. Admiral Martinez's expression became very serious. Protection. You see, members of the Council, we didn't leave to hurt you. We left to prepare for something much worse. The screen showed new images. Deep space sensors detecting massive objects at the edge of the galaxy. Something is coming, Martinez said. Something that will destroy both of our civilizations unless we work together. Zex felt his blood turn to ice as he stared at the sensor readings. The objects approaching from dark space were not human cities. They were ships, thousands of them, and they were much, much larger. The terms, the silence in the council chamber was deafening. Everyone stared at the massive ships on the screen, thousands of them, each one bigger than anything the galaxy had ever built. Admiral Martinez waited patiently as the alien leaders absorbed what they were seeing. Finally, High Chancellor Nexus found his voice. What are those things? He whispered. The Devourers, Martinez replied. We've been tracking them for 50 years. They destroyed our original home galaxy 1,000 years ago. Ambassador Zex felt his legs go weak. Your original home? You mean Earth is not? Earth is our sanctuary world, Martinez explained. We fled there after the Devourers consumed everything we had built. We've been preparing for their return ever since. Captain Krell stepped forward, his warrior pride struggling with fear. How many ships are in that fleet? Martinez consulted her datapad. Current count is 12,000 vessels. Their largest ships carry populations of 50 million. They don't just destroy worlds, they consume them completely. Dr. Quinn was frantically working on calculations. 12,000 ships that size. They could destroy every inhabited world in the galaxy in less than 6 months. 5 months and 3 weeks, Martinez corrected grimly. We've run the numbers many times. Senator Vrock collapsed into his chair. This is impossible. No species could build such a fleet. The Devourers aren't a species, Martinez said. They're a collective. They absorb other civilizations and use their knowledge to grow stronger. Every world they take makes them more powerful. Nexus struggled to understand. But why didn't you warn us? Why all the secrecy? Martinez's expression hardened. Would you have believed us? Would the Galactic Council have listened to humans talking about invisible threats from another galaxy? Or would you have called us crazy and continued your politics as usual? Zex realized she was right. The Council would never have taken such claims seriously. They barely took humans seriously even now. So you made us dependent on you instead, he said quietly. We made you need us, Martinez agreed. Because when the Devourers arrive, you'll need every advantage you can get. And we have advantages you don't. Captain Krill scoffed. What advantages could humans possibly have that we don't? The screen changed to show the interior of one of the human space cities. Zex gasped at what he saw. The technology was decades ahead of anything in the galaxy. Crystal-powered weapons that glowed with impossible energy. Ships that moved without visible engines. We've had 1,000 years to prepare, Martinez said. While your species were discovering fire, we were perfecting crystal fusion technology. While you were building your first spaceships, we were creating mobile worlds. Dr. Quinn leaned forward, her scientific mind racing. Your space cities. They're not just homes. They're weapons, Martinez nodded. Each city can transform into a battle station. Our farms become ammunition factories. Our parks become training grounds. Every human civilian is also a trained soldier. How many humans are there? Nexus asked. 12 billion across 47 mobile cities, Martinez replied. all armed, all trained, all ready to fight. The numbers were staggering. The entire Galactic Council controlled maybe 8 billion beings across all species combined. Now, Martinez continued, here are our terms for alliance. A document appeared on the screen. Zex read it with growing amazement. First, complete human independence from all galactic laws and taxes. Second, joint military command structure with human leadership. Third, immediate sharing of all alien military technology and resources. Captain Krell exploded. You want us to give you everything and get nothing in return? You get survival, Martinez said simply. Without our help, the Devourers will wipe out every species in this galaxy. With our help, you have a chance. What kind of chance? Zex asked. Martinez was quiet for a long moment. Honestly, maybe 30%. The Devourers are that powerful. And without your help? Dr. Quinn whispered. 0%, Martinez replied. They've never lost a battle. They've consumed 47 galaxies over the last 1,000,000 years. The chamber fell silent again. The choice was clear but terrible. Surrender their independence to the humans or face certain extinction. Senator Vrock spoke first. How long do we have to decide? Martinez checked her instruments. Our long-range sensors show the Devourers will arrive in 4 months, not 6. They're moving faster than expected. 4 months, Nexus repeated numbly. 4 months to prepare the greatest fleet this galaxy has ever seen, Martinez said. 4 months to turn every world into a fortress. 4 months to teach your people how to fight an enemy that has never been defeated. She leaned forward, her eyes intense. The question isn't whether you trust us. The question is whether you want to live. Captain Krell looked at the Devourer fleet on the screen, then at the human space cities. Finally he spoke. If we agree to your terms, do we really have a chance? Admiral Martinez smiled for the first time. Captain, you're about to learn something important about humans. We don't just fight to survive. What do you fight for? Zex asked. We fight to win. The Alliance, 3 months and 26 days later, Ambassador Zex stood on the bridge of the hybrid battleship Unity. Through the massive viewing window, he watched the greatest fleet in galactic history prepare for war. Human space cities hung in formation alongside alien dreadnoughts. The cities had transformed exactly as Admiral Martinez promised. Their beautiful parks were now covered with massive weapons. Their peaceful farms had become ammunition factories. Their gentle lights now pulsed with deadly energy. Status report, called Admiral Martinez from the command center. She now wore the uniform of Supreme Fleet Commander, a rank created specifically for this battle. All alien vessels report ready, replied Captain Krell. The proud warrior had become Martinez's most trusted lieutenant. 3 months of working with humans had changed him completely. Human cities are in battle configuration, added Dr. Quinn, who now served as Chief Science Officer. Crystal fusion weapons are at full power. Zex marveled at how much had changed. The humans hadn't just shared their technology, they had taught every species how to use it properly. Alien ships that once barely functioned now moved with incredible speed and power. Incoming transmission from Earth Defense Command, announced the communications officer. Ambassador Chen appeared on the screen. She was back on Earth, coordinating the defense of the inner systems. Admiral, long-range sensors confirmed Devourer fleet arrival in 36 hours. Understood, Martinez replied. Are the evacuation protocols ready? All civilian populations have been moved to secure systems. If we fail here, they'll have 6 more months before the Devourers reach them. 6 months for 12 billion refugees to find somewhere safe in a galaxy that might not exist. Zex tried not to think about it. Admiral, called the sensor officer, we're detecting movement from the Devourer fleet. They're early. Everyone turned to look at the tactical display. The massive enemy fleet was dropping out of hyperspace at the galaxy's edge. But something was wrong. How many ships? Martinez asked. 18,000, the officer replied, his voice shaking. 6,000 more than expected. The bridge fell silent. Their battle plans had been based on fighting 12,000 ships. 18,000 changed everything. Captain Krell growled low in his throat. They brought reinforcements. No, Martinez said quietly, studying the display. They absorbed another civilization on the way here. The fleet grew. Dr. Quinn ran quick calculations. With 18,000 ships, our survival chances dropped to... I don't want to hear numbers, Martinez cut her off. I want solutions. Zex watched the human admiral work. Even facing impossible odds, she showed no fear. This was why the humans had survived when so many others had fallen. Signal all ships, Martinez ordered. Execute Formation Omega. The combined fleet began to move. Human space cities spread out in a massive defensive line. Alien ships took positions between them, creating overlapping fields of fire. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Admiral, Zex said quietly, there's something I need to know. Martinez looked at him. What is it, Ambassador? When you first came to the Council, when we demanded you follow our laws, did you already know this was coming? Martinez was quiet for a moment. Then she smiled sadly. Zex, we've known this day would come for 50 years. Every decision we made, every colony we built, every crystal we mined, it was all preparing for this moment. Even making us angry with you. Especially that, she replied. We needed you to see how much you depended on us. We needed you desperate enough to accept our leadership, because this battle can only be won one way. How? Captain Krell asked. Martinez turned to face the approaching Devourer fleet. By fighting as one people, not dozens of separate species. The Devourers win because they absorb and unite their enemies. Today we beat them at their own game. The enemy fleet was getting closer. Each ship was massive beyond belief. Some were the size of moons. Others stretched for hundreds of kilometers. All ships report ready for battle, announced the tactical officer. Signal from the lead Devourer ship, called communications. They're demanding our surrender. Put them on screen, Martinez ordered. A horrifying face appeared, if it could be called a face. It was a mixture of dozens of different species, all merged into one twisted form. We are the Devourers, it spoke with 1,000 voices. Surrender your worlds and join us. Resistance is futile. Martinez stepped forward. This is Admiral Sarah Martinez of the United Galactic Alliance. We have a counteroffer. The creature tilted its horrible head. You would negotiate? No, Martinez said firmly. We would like you to surrender to us. Even through the screen, Zex could sense the creature's surprise. No species had ever demanded a Devourer surrender. You cannot defeat us, the creature hissed. We have consumed 1,000 civilizations. Martinez smiled. It was not a nice smile. Yes, but you've never fought humans before. What makes humans so special? We don't just fight to survive, Martinez replied. We fight to protect everyone we love. And right now that includes this entire galaxy. She cut the transmission and turned to her fleet. All ships, this is Admiral Martinez. Today we fight not as humans or aliens, but as one people defending our home. Show them what unity can do. The battle for the galaxy was about to begin.